What is the giant in your life? Look at it. The impossible challenge that stands on the horizon of your ambition, mocking your every effort. The overwhelming debt. The chronic illness. The crushing weight of your own self-doubt. The fear that paralyzes you, that keeps you in the trenches, a spectator in the great battle of your own life. We all have a giant, an obstacle so vast, so powerful, so terrifying, that it seems to defy all logic, all hope, and all courage. And today, we will learn how to kill it. We journey back in time, to a valley called Elah, a place of strategic stalemate and profound national fear. On one side, the armies of Israel, the chosen people, cowering on a hillside, their spirit broken. On the other, the armies of the Philistines, confident and proud. And between them, in the valley of decision, walked the giant. His name was Goliath. He was a monster of a man, a walking siege engine of bronze and iron. He stood over 9 feet tall, his armor weighing more than a normal man. Every morning and every evening, for 40 days, he would stride into the valley, his voice a thunderstorm of ridicule, and he would issue his challenge. Choose a man and have him come down to me. If he is able to fight and kill me, we will become your subjects. But if I overcome him and kill him, you will become our subjects and serve us. And for 40 days, the armies of Israel did nothing. Their greatest warriors, their most seasoned soldiers, were paralyzed by what they saw. They saw an unbeatable enemy. They saw a mathematical certainty of defeat. They analyzed the threat, and their analysis produced only one rational conclusion: fear. And then, a boy arrived on the battlefield. Not a soldier, but a shepherd. A boy named David, sent by his father to bring food to his brothers on the front lines. He was young, he was small, he was utterly insignificant. He was not a warrior. He was an underdog. And he heard the giant's taunts. He saw the fear in the eyes of his countrymen. And he asked a simple, revolutionary question that would change the course of history. Who is this uncircumcised Philistine that he should defy the armies of the living God? Stop there. Do not miss the genius of this moment. This is the first secret of the underdog's mindset. David did not see what everyone else saw. The soldiers saw a 9-foot-tall giant, an impossible physical threat. David saw a blasphemer, an offense against the divine order. They were looking at the size of the enemy. He was looking at the size of his God. He was not analyzing the problem from the perspective of the world. He was analyzing it from the perspective of his faith. He was running a different mental software. This is the first step to killing your giant. You must change the way you see it. You must reframe the battle. Your problem is not a financial crisis. It is an opportunity to learn the science of wealth creation. Your fear is not a weakness. It is a compass, pointing you to the exact area where you must grow. You must, with deliberate and courageous effort, lift your perspective from the dusty ground of your circumstances to the infinite expanse of your own potential. What is the giant you are facing in your own life right now, and how could reframing your perspective on it change your approach? Let me know in the comments below. When the king heard of this boy's strange courage, he summoned him. The king, Saul, a man of logic and of sight, looked at David and saw only a boy. He said, "You are not able to go out against this Philistine and fight him. You are only a young man, and he has been a warrior from his youth." And it is here that David reveals the second and most crucial element of the underdog's mindset, the source of his belief. He does not speak of his strength or his skill. He opens his personal file of past victories. He says, "Your servant has been keeping his father's sheep. When a lion or a bear came and carried off a sheep from the flock, I went after it, struck it, and rescued the sheep from its mouth." This was not a boast. This was his evidence. His faith was not a blind hope. It was a conclusion, based on the data of his own lived experience. The lonely, unseen pastures were his training ground. The battles with the lion and the bear were his preparation. He had a track record of facing impossible odds and, through his faith in God, emerging victorious. Your past is not a source of your limitation. It is the evidence of your resilience. The king, moved by this strange confidence, offered the boy his own armor. A bronze helmet, a coat of mail, the tools of a conventional warrior. And David, in a moment of profound wisdom, refused them. They were heavy, they were unfamiliar, they did not fit. He was not a soldier, and he would not win by pretending to be one. This is the third law of the underdog. You must reject the world's armor. You must stop trying to win the game using someone else's tools, someone else's strategies. The world will tell you that you need the MBA, the fancy equipment, the approval of the establishment. But these things are Saul's armor. They are heavy, and they are not yours. Your power lies in the tools you have already mastered. David walked into the valley of death, not with a king's sword, but with a shepherd's sling and 5 smooth stones. He chose the weapon of his own authentic experience, the weapon he had practiced with for thousands of hours in the solitude of the fields. He was not a second-rate version of a soldier, he was a first-rate version of himself. And that is where his true power was found. As he walked towards the giant, Goliath looked at him with contempt. He cursed him. He saw a boy, a joke, an insult to his own magnificent power. And David, his voice ringing with the clarity of absolute, unshakable belief, delivered his declaration of victory before the battle had even begun. "You come against me with sword and spear and javelin," he shouted, "but I come against you in the name of the Lord Almighty, the God of the armies of Israel, whom you have defied. This day the Lord will deliver you into my hands." He was not hoping to win. He had already won. The battle in the valley was a mere formality, a physical performance of a victory that had already been secured in the arena of his own mind. He was not looking at the giant. He was looking through him, at the future reality he had already claimed. And then he did the final, most courageous thing. He ran. The scripture says that as the Philistine moved closer to attack him, David ran quickly toward the battle line to meet him. He did not hesitate. He did not wait. He closed the distance. He ran towards the very thing that the entire army was running away from. This is the final act of faith. Action. You must run towards your giant. You must confront your fear. The moment of your greatest fear is the moment of your greatest opportunity for growth. You must charge. And as he ran, he reached into his bag, took out a stone, and slung it. A single, small, smooth stone, propelled by the authentic skill of a shepherd and guided by the unwavering faith of a giant killer. The stone flew, true and straight, and it struck the Philistine on his forehead, the only vulnerable spot in his armor of pride. And the great giant, the symbol of impossible, terrifying power, fell face down on the ground. The story of David and Goliath is not a fairy tale about a lucky shepherd boy. It is a timeless blueprint for how the seemingly weak can conquer the seemingly strong. It is a lesson that the greatest battles are won not with the strength of the body, but with the mindset of the soul. So look again at the giant in your life. Stop focusing on its size and start focusing on your own internal power. Reframe the battle. Remember your past victories. Reject the world's armor and pick up your own authentic tools. And declare victory in your mind before you ever step onto the field. And then, with all the faith of a shepherd boy and all the courage of a king, you must run towards the battle. If this story has inspired you to face your own giant, give this video a like and subscribe to our channel. Join us as we continue to explore the timeless wisdom that turns underdogs into legends.